Once upon a time, in a room filled with laughter, our three friends sat down for a friendly game. But today, the deck held a surprise that wasn't in the rules. Suddenly, the cards began to dance. They whirled and swirled until, poof, a mysterious book appeared. Humming with a strange dark energy, before anyone could say, "all in," the cards made their decision, and our friends were swept away into a story they never asked to join. The great pop-up book creaked open. Flip! There was Frog, lost in the deep tangled vines of the jungle. Flop! Moose found himself floating among the stars in the silent reaches of space. Floosh! Wolf was catching rays at the beach, looking cool but feeling quite lonely. Adventures are best experienced if you have friends to share it with, and our trio wanted nothing more than to be on the very same page. Flip! High atop a jagged peak in a gloomy castle, a sharp-edged fellow known as the Seam Ripper cackled with glee. His plan was working. By snip, snip, snipping the bonds of friendship, he had left our heroes scattered. But why such a prickly personality? And how could our friends ever hope to stitch their lives back together? To help our friends escape from their lonely pages, we need something very special: thread fragments. These tiny bits of magic are hidden all around you in the form of mission stickers. By collecting these stickers, you aren't just playing a game, you're harnessing the power to pull our friends back to reunite. You might even help the Seam Ripper find his way too. Listen closely, adventurers, for the fragments are scattered far and wide. You will find them as you journey through this weekend's tale. In the underground stage, where music and dance collide. Within the jam space, where new stories are composed every hour. And in the low sensory room, a quiet sanctuary where the ink has time to dry. Along the way, you must seek out the swift allies of Midwest Speedfest and lend your own strength to the story at operations. Keep an eye out for Tonka, a friendly creature whose very presence can mend a heavy heart. As you complete each mission, place your fragment upon your badge. Every sticker brings us one step closer to a happy ending. Can you gather all 20 and become the hero the story needs? Explore, engage, and weave your own path. We shall see how strong your threads are when we meet at the Recital for Chapter 2, the Cosplay Showcase for Chapter 3, and at Closing Ceremonies for the final chapter. Your adventures have already led you through a brisk morning run, an enchanting orchestra clinic, and many side stories of this grand tale. Thanks to your hard work, enough thread fragments have been gathered to stitch Moose and Wolf back onto the same page. They seem oddly relaxed, actually. Perhaps a bit too relaxed for characters lost in a book. But far away in the humid jungle, Frog can feel the threads pulling. He knows his friends have found each other without him. It's enough to make a frog turn a very bright shade of angry green. The story is still broken, and Frog is lost, alone, and forgotten. Be sure to collect your mission sticker here to help save our Frog and pull him back to his friends. And don't miss a moment of the magic. Join us at the Cosplay Showcase today at 2 p.m. on the Hero Stage as we try to weave our heroes back together. At last, the energy from the Cosplay Showcase has worked a miracle, pulling Frog, Moose, and Wolf back to the very same page. But wait, this isn't the happy reunion we hoped for. Trapped in the humid, sweaty jungle, tempers are flaring and feelings are hurt. Frog is still fuming about being left behind. Moose is missing the quiet of space, and Wolf just wants to go back to the beach. Instead of hugging, they're huffing. Instead of a team, they've become a tangle. If they don't stop bickering and find the seam ripper soon, the dark energy will take hold. They might just tear themselves and the entire book apart forever. Adventurers, we are so close to the end. Will you help them find their way and face the shadow in the castle before the final chapter is written? Seek out your final fragments, for the story's end is nearly upon us. We'll see you at closing ceremonies for the grand conclusion. The crew settled their differences and anger at each other, uniting to find the real culprit of their misery. With one final burst of thread fragment magic, they turned the pages to confront the Seam Ripper. Together, they stood tall, demanding to know why he had spent the story trying to tear them apart. The Seam Ripper stood silently and used his magic to reveal his true self. There stood a dragon. He was certainly a monster, but he was just an abandoned sketch. Dragon was the ghost of a project left to gather dust. He believed that if he snipped the threads of a new story, the author would have to go back to the beginning and finally give him a purpose. He wasn't acting out of malice, he was simply unfinished. Our heroes understood the dragon. He wasn't a villain to be defeated, but a lonely dragon looking for community and the manifestation of the regret of an unfinished project. While they certainly blamed Thomas for failing to put him in the stitched together marketing, they knew he deserved a place in their story. The friends offered a kind gesture of peace. They promised that if he helped them home, they would help him become complete and find purpose. The dragon was filled with warmth, knowing he finally had a future. He used the Seam Ripper one last time, not to tear, but to mend. With a flash of light, our friends were warped back to their game, right where they belonged. They had learned that the best way to keep the Seam Ripper away is to unite together, ask for help, keep creating, and never leave a friend or a story unfinished.
Bye.